going on, everyone? I hope you all are doing well and staying safe out there. Today we are going to go ahead and learn some vocabulary for cooking in English in the kitchen. So this is probably a more advanced lesson here. We're going to look at some common phrases and verbs that we use when we are cooking in English. So I've got some really nice videos that I found here that I will be sharing with you. And without further ado, let's go ahead and have a look. Okay, so we've got somebody mixing some vegetables, it looks like, in a wok. When you say this activity here, we say tossing usually, or flipping. It looks like they're adding a little sauce. That tool there we call a ladle, the utensil. The big spoon, it's usually called a ladle, something you use to get soup, right? Alright, so they just added a couple sauces and they are mixing that around. So some verbs there: to mix, to toss the food. This here is a pinch of salt. So you'll see in a lot of cookbooks to add a pinch of salt. That's because this verb here is called to pinch, right? When you pinch somebody, you grab their skin, ouch, you pinch them. So that's a pinch. We'll say add a pinch of salt. It's just a little piece of salt there. All right, let's look at this here. This person is slicing some yellow bell peppers. We call those bell peppers, right? Just looks like they're just doing some straight slices there. Sometimes you'll see in cookbooks to slice them into quarters or slice them into thin slices, or they'll even use a Spanish word, rajas, which is, the line, like, so it's a strip basically, or they'll say slice it into strips. All right, it looks like here we're doing some thin sliced mushrooms. So that verb there is to slice, right? You have to cut. To cut is usually, you can make big cuts. Cuts usually used with meat, referring to meat. And then that there is called a cutting board, that object there. So you would call that a cutting board, a wooden cutting board, right? We have plastic and wooden cutting boards. This one is a wooden cutting board to cut or slice mushrooms. And then it looks like we have some parsley over here, or cilantro, or it might be British people call cilantro coriander. And then the tomato there. I think that's parsley, I don't know. It looks more like parsley than cilantro. So, all right, and we have some flames flying up there, and the person is cooking some, looks like some meat, maybe some seafood or something. So again, that utensil there would be a ladle, and we call those gas stoves when they have flames coming out of them, right? And then you have like a convection stove, but yeah, that one would be considered gas. So a lot of times people will say fire up the stove or fire up the grill. It just means turn it on. Now here we have somebody doing some slices, some thin slices. We usually call this mincing when you slice it very thin. Say mince the parsley, is how you would read that in a cookbook. So mincing parsley, or you could say finely chop the parsley as well. But yeah, it's just that fine cutting of the seasoning or spice. All right, this here looks like somebody's adding a spoon of, I don't know, maybe that's flour, sugar, or baking soda. But yeah, that's a pretty straightforward image. And then you have your measuring cup there. You can call that a measuring cup or a measuring glass. Carton of eggs. And yeah, the thing she has on is called an apron. All right, now this looks like this person is sprinkling some cheese on top of their pizza. So that verb there is to sprinkle. When you're kind of trying to space out something, we would say you're sprinkling it, right? Or you could say lightly add some cheese, evenly spaced. But sprinkling, I think, is probably the best verb to use there, to sprinkle. Because, right, sprinkles are like what you put on cake, the little sweet, colorful things. Initially, I thought that might have been lemon zest, but it makes more sense that it's cheese. But lemon zest is basically when you take a lemon and you get the skin of it, and you kind of grate it. That's the verb there for grating something. So I'm just looking for an image of lemon zest. So it's basically when you take the skin of the lemon and you put it on the shredder or the grater. Let's see, I think I found an image that's better with this, an image of a grater. So when you're shredding like cheese, or you're shredding, you're zesting a lemon. It's kind of weird. We have different verbs for pretty much similar activities. Like if you're doing the lemon, it's a lemon zest, or you're zesting the lemon. And then when you're doing cheese, we'd say you're grating the cheese, or you're shredding the cheese. Yeah, there's an image of somebody shredding cheese or grating cheese on top of a plate, and if you have a lemon there instead, you would be grating the lemon. So yeah, that's a small grater, and then you have the shredder, the cheese shredder we call that, or to shred the cheese or to grate the cheese. Well, that is today's lesson. I know I've been on a bit of a hiatus lately. We say that when we've kind of disappeared, or we say I've been MIA lately, which is a military term that means missing in action. But anyway, I know that I have not been posting very many videos lately. I've been coming up with a lot of ideas though, and hopefully I will figure out a way to streamline my process and be able to upload a lot of videos for you all to enjoy and learn some English. In the meantime, you can always check out my Instagram, where I'm a little more consistent and usually try to post something on there every day, either an expression or a resource or something that I think will be helpful to English learners. All right, that's learn.englishexpressions. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Keep studying and keep learning, and please let me know your feedback in the comments, what you thought of this lesson, if you liked the style, and if there's anything that you would do to improve it. All right, see you in the next lesson. Keep studying and keep learning.